Nanobots, smart dust, will infuse all matter around us with information. Rocks, trees, everything will become these intelligent creatures. There is only one way you are going to spread nanobots and smart dust over everything in the way he describes, and that's from the sky. And that's why these chemtrails, not contrails, chemtrails, that come out the back of planes, they started appearing in the late 1990s, now they're friggin' everywhere. My son Gareth took a picture this morning of them over Derby, and I see them all the time. I've been on the edge of the Kalahari Desert and seen them. They're everywhere. And instead of disappearing like contrails, they start to just pan out and pan out and pan out, and eventually they start coming down and cover everything in what they contain, which is many, many things, including nanotechnology, smart dust. And I have seen again and again a clear blue sky turned into a cloudy day just by watching planes crisscross the sky, pouring this shite out. And this whole changing of the atmosphere by this explosion of technologically generated radiation is all part of creating this technological sub-reality to control human society like people can hardly imagine. Radiation in the atmosphere generated by technology has absolutely soared beyond words since I was a kid, and increases by the day. And it's coming from sources like these that we don't even know about. Things that look like something else, but are actually hiding these transmitters of these frequencies. This is a former DARPA scientist saying that these cell towers are pouring out frequencies that disrupt human minds. Exactly what this grid is meant to do.
These criminals face zero consequences for what they're doing to you. The reality is, your personal information is out there, exposed and vulnerable. It's on you to protect yourself. That's why we trust and personally use Aura, today's sponsor. Aura does all the heavy lifting to keep you safe online. They take action against these data brokers and companies who are selling your personal information, going after them directly and submitting opt-out requests on your behalf. You don't have to lift a finger. Aura handles it. But that's not all. Here's where it gets even more serious. Aura doesn't just stop there. They continuously monitor the dark web for any trace of your personal data. If they find your information floating around in places it shouldn't be, Aura will alert you immediately. They'll let you know fast if anyone is trying to use that data to access your credit accounts or even drain bank accounts. And if the worst happens to you, Aura has you covered. They offer up to $5 million in identity theft insurance to help you recover if someone gets a hold of your information and tries to do real damage. Don't wait until it's too late. Head over to our link, aura.com/anonymous, to try Aura free for 14 days. That's plenty of time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed and start protecting you from these threats.
Exposure to cell phone and wireless Wi-Fi radiation can reduce impulse control and cause violence. What this stuff can do, by interfering with the process of information processing by the human brain, it can change the way people think. They worked out a long time ago, one guy back in the 50s, the frequencies of various states of emotion, including rage and depression. And they found that if you fire that frequency across a community, you pull people into that frequency because the brain doesn't know any better. It receives a frequency and it decodes it. It might come from you and it will decode it, or it might come externally and it will decode it, and you get what that frequency represents. And if you fire that across a community and you build people up into a rage because you want to riot on a problem, reaction, solution scenario, and then you do something to trigger, like, you arrest someone that shouldn't be arrested, or police will beat someone up or whatever. And suddenly that rage is then, which has been built up systematically, technologically, then explodes, and you have the riot that you want. And the kids all over the world now are being bombarded from every angle with this stuff. And because we are energetic, electromagnetic, on this level entities, anything that disrupts that disrupts us on every level. This is a guy called Michael Persinger, a neuroscientist at a university in Canada who was specialized in this subject for decades. He said, for the first time in our evolutionary history, we have generated an entire secondary, virtual, densely complex environment, an electromagnetic soup that essentially overlaps the human nervous system, which is what it was planned to do all along. And because of this technology, human concentration spans are plummeting. People find it harder and harder to read books because the books don't give them that electronic digital stimulation the brain becomes addicted to. And what they thought until relatively recently, is once the brain is formed, then that's it, it's formed. That's how it is for the entirety. Now they know the very opposite is true. They know that the brain, through something called brain plasticity, is constantly changing and reforming in the way that it processes information by the information it receives. And what we've had, and my God, I've lived through this, I'm old enough to live through it, I remember what it was like before. In a ridiculously short time, the brain has been absolutely deluged with information in forms it's never experienced before. And it is rewiring the brain. It's rewiring the brains of children. It's one of the reasons they're getting scrambled, and all this suicide stuff is coming through. And AI is also meant to take people's jobs away on an absolutely vast scale. When customers skip the cashier line, what happens to the nation's 3.6 million cashiers, as it says about America? But so many jobs are going to disappear and are beginning to disappear. Amazon announced something this week because of AI and technology taking over. And this is the scam. Remember this one. What will happen eventually is that the scale of job loss will be so fantastic. Do something, what are we going to do? And what will be planned is this, or a form of this. One, what we're going to do is we're going to give everyone basically money every week or every month. Everyone's going to get a guaranteed income. It won't be anything like what people could enjoy their life with, but everyone's going to have a guaranteed income. And a lot of people will say, phew, thank God, I've lost my job. There's no others. AI is taking it all. And they take the guaranteed income. The idea is that once you take the guaranteed income, continuing to get it depends on your behavior. It's something like this is unfolding in China as we speak. So guaranteed income, yeah? And there's no other jobs, are there? You've got no other choice, no other jobs, because AI's got them all, yeah? Robots got them all, yeah? Don't do that. Don't challenge us, don't question us, don't do this, don't say that, because your income will be taken away. And you've got no other choice, have they? No. This is where it's leading. Complete control of humanity. And we have been manipulated, not least through not paying attention, and I do understand this bit, not appreciating the scale of fricking evil that we're dealing with. We have allowed ourselves to build our own technological prison without realizing that's what it is. We believed it to be technological progress. And then there's the question, what is AI? What is this artificial intelligence? Well, of course, there's algorithmic AI, and there's what they call learning AI, where it's constantly learning, becoming more intelligent. But what is the other levels of AI? This guy is a famous celebrity physicist in America, Kaku. He said, fear robots, not aliens. And I put at the bottom, but what if the aliens are controlling the robots? What if AI is the aliens? What if AI is this force I talked about earlier and AI is its vehicle to assimilate the human mind. I say it is. I go into the books in detail and explain why, but never mind whether it is or whether it isn't. Whatever level you want to look at AI, we are being invaded. So, controlled perception, genetic rewire. Know the outcome and you'll see the journey. One of the longer term goals of this agenda is to replace the biological human body with a synthetic version. It's all part of this assimilation into technology. And so, know the outcome and you'll see the journey. And what we're seeing now is more and more movies, television programs, that are portraying that very world of robotic humans and synthetic robots, as they have been portraying in the movies for year after year after year, the dystopian society and the control and the promotion of robots and transformers and all this stuff. For kids, not least, for reasons I explained. And what this is a psychological trick called preemptive programming. And it works like this. The society you want to take people into, even by the standards we're in now, is so massively different to where we are that very chasm of difference is a big resistance point for people. You want us to do what? You want to do what? So what you do is you bombard them with movies, programs, any kind of media you can that portrays the world you want them to go into, you want to take them into. And what you're doing is you're making the subconscious, and the conscious to an extent, familiar with this world you want to take them into. So when it starts to come in for real, that chasm of resistance is not the same, because in some way you are kind of familiar with it. You've been made familiar with it. And that's what's happening. And that process is preparing people.
If you enjoyed today's video on Anonymous Official, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching and sticking with us.